cut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Saying that you're the best, you gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy, is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports.
First of all, shout out to the hottest chat in the MFing game, A-Side official. You already know. We back with another one in 2025. Of course, we have some situations to address. One being the lightweight division. There seems to be a lot of confusion since the 22nd is coming up, and one of their favorite fighters is on deck. We just had Keyshawn. Congratulations and salute to him becoming world champion for the first time. I don't believe this is going to be his only time coming to world champion, but salute to him for getting that early stoppage of Baranchik. But I'm going to tell you, it wasn't like it was a shocker or unexpected. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people didn't consider it a 50-50 fight. But I do congratulate him by treating it as if it wasn't a 50-50 fight, by getting him up out of there. Also, I want to give a BLK Prime reaction. That's going to be my first. And then I want to talk about the state of affairs when it comes down to the heavyweight division. Okay? It's really important. What I do like about the lightweight division is the fact that interest has found itself right back hovering over the division with some potentially good fights. Good fights. But somehow, some way, there are boxing fans who feel some type of way about the monster that they call El Chincheca. Now I can understand why some people can feel some type of way about the gorilla just in the background and the threat it may pose to the other three champions in the lightweight division. I understand it. I've did so much self-assessment, evaluating the possible threats and dangers of a fighter trying to become undisputed at 135 pounds. It's some big names out there. Some really big names. I'm not going to lie to you. It's some really big names out in the lightweight division. Well, we'll get to that. Okay? We'll get to that. Let's take care the BOK Prime situation. BOK Prime. I remember when y'all initially came out, and when Crawford was set to fight on your outfit, right? People was doubting it. They were saying you weren't in business, the headquarters was closed. They was just pretty much making sure that they throw as much dirt on BOK Prime as they possibly could, just because Crawford was fighting. And they really wanted him to see, they really want him to be in there with Spence. But he went to BOK Prime for one fight. The consistency has to do better. You know what I'm saying? The quality of your production has to be better. God dang. BOK Prime, I'm black just like your name. But at the end of the day, it was horrendous. Man, the feed was horrendous, bro. You're talking about boxing fans who is trying their best to support the app, pay for the monthly fee. Listen to the brothers who said, "Hey, support the app, support the app, support the app," and then you say, "Okay, it's Black History Month. Let's support the app. Let's support the fighters that's fighting on the card." And then when we get there, it's like, good Lord, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? Why are we just seeing a black screen? Why do we just hear music? Didn't they say it was going to start this time? I mean, why was everything not punctual? You all were not punctual with your starting appointment. The start time was this, and time just kept on rolling and rolling and rolling. It wasn't a good look. I'm going to be honest with you. It wasn't a good look at all. Now, as far as to the quality, one thing I can say about this Norman and Hackett fight, it built up some steam. I'm not going to lie to you. It built up enough steam for people to say, "Hey, I'm waiting on this fight to happen. I'm waiting on this fight to happen." Right? Two black fighters that actually stepped in the ring and they hate it. There's no need to really go over their resumes. This fight wasn't about resumes. This was about bragging rights. This was about, ATL versus Philly. This was one of them type of scraps. This was trash talk against trash talker, trainer against trainer. This was really about the bragging rights. So, I think the fight kind of to the radar. A lot of people mollified it, reduced it in value initially when it was put out there, but as it got closer to the fight, it started to pick up some steam. No one person was responsible for that. Okay? It's just the general community. The word spread. The interviews were conducted. Shout out to everyone who conducted an interview with them. Mill City. Who else did it? I don't know if they was on the Boxing Voice. I think they were. But, shout out to them for promoting a fight between two fighters that can really be considered an exhibition, but the results said otherwise. It ended up turning into a pretty, decent regional tier fight. Okay? At least they went 3 minutes. per round for a total of 6. We have to reiterate that I heard different stories that it may potentially be a rematch. Some people don't want to see a rematch. It depends on where you at in boxing. I think this was the perfect time to throw a fight like this instead of next weekend because we know February 22nd when nobody have been looking at BOK Prime versus Vice what's going on in Riyadh season. It wouldn't happen. Um, for the fighters themselves, salute to Hackett and Norman Jr. for coming in the shape at least to make it to the end of 6 rounds. Now, for me, Hackett, I'm gonna be honest, you made it seem like you was just in there doing your regular sparring, moving around, you know, being funny. You know what I'm saying? He does have boxing skills, but you was a bit sloppy in there, and you was out of reach. You know, your range was terrible. You know what I'm saying? Um, I wanted to give you a measuring tape so you can at least measure the distance between you and Norman Senior, and then just kind of move, make adjustments from there, and try to land those punches you was landing. As of Norman Jr., Norman Senior, I just felt that when he did try to throw combinations, especially on the ropes, they wasn't wild. They wasn't clubbing shots. He wasn't in there looking like Baranchik with that right hand trying to throw rapid punches. You know what I'm saying? Um, he came out the first 2 rounds working with the jab. You know what I'm saying? He had an active jab. And then he waited and waited, to what he was in range, which Greg Hackett didn't do, to try to hit him with the hit him with the hit him with his power shots. But he didn't load up on power shots every time. I think when he really started to invest in the power shot was round 5. You know what I'm saying? When he didn't set it up with a jab, he was just trying to catch, Hackett, complacency lacking and trying to land that right hand. But he did land some power shots on the inside. You know what I'm saying? He did let his hands go and not just punch when he had Hackett up against the ropes. You can clearly see who was a stronger fighter when they was in the clinch. You know what I'm saying? Hackett, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. You was doing a little bit too much holding, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like it was Christmas holidays, like you was carrying packages or something. Like you was goddamn hugging like it was cool, bro. Like you just got off the deployment. Why hug a boxer who been out the ring for 14 years? I mean, he been out the ring. Why are you hugging him so much, man? Come on. That's not like you and him fought in the military together, and y'all Hall of Famers, because y'all both won championships and y'all was the main event, and the fight that y'all was in against each other made it to the Hall of Fame. You was just doing entirely too much clinching and holding. For what? For what, though? I'm gonna say this. I was impressed with Norman. First of all, the condition that he got in, and then him taking his time in there, knowing that he'd been out the ring for 14 years. He took his time. He started off the first 2 rounds with the jab, and then he really needed to work on pacing himself because, really, in my opinion, both fighters were gassed a bit, but still maintaining that composure with 3 minutes, knowing what to do and what not to do. That was a significant role right there. You know what I'm saying? And the point that he was going to the body, he was hooking Hackett to the body. I think may have, um, to be honest, not to be funny, but I think some of them body shots that Norman Senior was laughing. I could have sworn, Greg, I seen some Twinkies fall out or some oatmeal pies. I don't know. A Philly steak cheese you ate before. You know what I'm saying, to come down here. I could have sworn I saw some goddamn desserts when he was hitting you with those body shots, falling to the canvas, and the referee had to kick it out the ring. Seriously, I'm just telling you. I'm just putting it out there. Not to be funny, or anything like that. But it just seems like, some of that strawberry funnel cake you might have ate, prior to stepping in the ring. We saw some of the goddamn, some of the effects of that. When he was tagging you with those body shots and you had to hold on for dear life. But salute to both of them guys. Good work. ATL stand up. Shout out to Norman's. Great work in there. We can't get him in shape. Real talk. He looking in great shape. And then be in his 40s and going in there and looking composed versus a guy who's in there doing sparring and moving around with his training and stuff like that. Shout out to both guys, really. Shout out to both guys. Moving on. Can't take too much time on that. I want to talk about Jared Anderson. Jared Anderson, it comes down to a point of him answering some questions on whether he still want to fight or not. You know what I'm saying? He has to ask some questions because, for one, it's a harsh reality that you about to go through right now. It don't matter if you're friends with Keyshawn, Shakur Stevenson. It don't matter. I know y'all was, taking pictures together, all cheesing and stuff like that. I get it, bro. But this is a harsh reality on what you have in front of you. If you learned anything from Deontay Wilder, a fighter who fast tracked, came up, won the medal. There's a lot of appreciation that can be given for somebody who did what he was able to do, right? Become champion and reign. I think a lot of people that was hating on Wilder, they're so quick to call him trash. Jared Anderson, I'm hearing them focus now on you. See, what you have going on, Jared Anderson, is nothing that they can ever consider Wilder to be. Wilder, they can say all they want, but Wilder was never trash. It's easy to speak in hindsight when someone's in their late 30s, their early 40s. It's easy when they've taken a loss because he only has 4 losses. But Joshua had 4 losses prior to that. Joseph Parker has had losses, where he lost back to back. He even lost his title to Anthony Joshua. I mean, all these heavyweights had some type of losses. But for you, the fight fans witnessed something. They seen some things in there with how nonchalant you was looking, how you act like you didn't have that desire and hunger anymore, like you wasn't motivated to be a fighter. And through it all, I know Wilder probably would tell you he heard it all. But there's people out here calling you a bust, and you in your 20s there, Jared. Nobody was calling Wilder a bust. And I know you and Deontay Wilder is 2 different fighters, and he's much older, you much younger. Yes, that makes it even more intriguing because you being younger, already having the type of mentality you got based off 1 loss, they are about to take you on a trip that you didn't purchase tickets for, bro. They're about to compare you to other champions that just didn't have it all, wasn't mentally strong to be in this sport. You represent a state there, Jared, of the USA, which we are in dire need of another USA contender. And I'm not saying we don't have the Jarrell Millers, right? But Jarrell Miller, when he fought Daniel Dubois, yes, with all his skeletons and demons and the needles that he was fighting, all the chemicals in his system. One thing they can't say about Jarrell Miller is that he's a quitter. They're not saying that about you yet, except they feel that you have quit on boxing. They feel like The final moments of that fight, when you was up against the ropes, you just was showing people that, yeah, I didn't ask for this. I don't care. He put it out there for us. We shouldn't be really shocked at Jared Anderson because he said it. He said, I didn't ask for it. And the man was shedding tears. That's why I don't really want to go in on Jared Anderson because he might have some mental shit going on, and you might wake up one morning and it's some news on the TV. Dude is obviously going through some shit. But for you ungrateful, ignorant ass boxing haters that was so in a hurry to get away from the heavyweight champion that we have slim pickings right now. We have, other countries laughing and joking and celebrating about their heavyweight champion. Where in the USA, we're about to be on a 10 to 15 year drought to try to find the next heavyweight champion that's going to be willing to step up with these guys. Daniel Dubois is young. Dubois is young, bro. Usyk right now is just too skilled for anybody that's not on his level to step up. He's just too freaking skilled. He's just too skilled, period. Unless we got somebody that's willing to go up there and get Usyk a run from a lower division. I know Daniel Dubois potentially might want a rematch. I don't know. It ain't about him. It's about the USA heavyweight champions right now. Who's going to be next in line? And Jared Anderson don't look like he's that guy. I don't know where the animal went. You look at the guy on the left, you look at the guy on the right. I don't know where the guy on the left went. Why would this fight with McCauley affect him so bad if he said he wasn't listening to his corner? I'm just curious to know, how training camp went. That's all. I really want to know how training camp went. Because he reminded me of Jarrell Miller right now with his weight. Like I said, the previous live. He was 251. His last fight, 252. And then this previous fight, right here, he was 256. He's gaining weight. He looked a little soft, comparable to what he's been in the past. I thought he showed heart when he fought Charles Martin. But when he came back off that Piccoli loss, which was a devastating, brutal knockout, which Anderson got up. He didn't fucking quit, man. He didn't walk out the door. He didn't check out mentally and walk out the door without paying the motherfucking tab. He was stopped, yeah. But I think it's something that's outside of Piccoli. That's just me. It just sounds like, it looks like to me it's something outside of Piccoli that he's dealing with in his personal life. And these fighters, the fans only care about what they see in front of them on whatever Jared has going on outside the ropes, internal to his personal life. I hope those around him are able to get him the help he need. You know what I'm saying? Get him, the resources, whatever, if he's willing to have that. But right now, the heavyweight division, you want it so much for us not to be. You know what I'm saying? Not to be. You want it so much for us to, for the Wilder to be absent. But yet we got Jared Anderson that's checking out already. It's not like Wilder never went through adversity in his career. Yeah, he went through some adversity when he was defending his title. Yeah. But no one was never calling him a bust. No one was saying Wilder was a quitter. When he took his first loss, he didn't quit. He was stopped. But Jared Anderson, I hope you get the help you need. I can't spend too much time talking about it, bro. I want to ask, who's to blame for his fall from grace? Is it him not listening, or his inner circle of individuals that he may not respect like that to listen to? Is he listening to any of them? Does he even care to listen to them? Because what I seen in the ring the other night, man, was terrible. You just seemed like you was bored, like you just came to collect a check. Like you're really looking like the one that used to be. Oh man, you know the commentator's gonna start reminding you, Jared. They're gonna be like, oh man, we remember when he was a highly touted prospect. He did well against Charles Martin, but when he stepped up against Spicoli, it didn't work out for him. He's never been the same since. Oh man, seems like all the potential just went down the drain. We wish him nothing but the best, though. You know, he only has one loss. Yesterday was sketchy. I mean, everybody saw Friday was sketchy. That shit was super sketchy, bro. Real sketchy. And for him to make his way back up to prominence in the U.S. on the ranking systems to even get a big fight, I'm saying to myself, I don't think he even want to step in there with one of the bigger names. I don't think he wants to, bro. I think he's done for now. Let's get to the man of the hour, Tomahawk Power. The torch is lit. Championship berth. Shout out to Keyshawn Davis. Terrence Crawford said he looked at me and said, good body shot. I mean, Keyshawn, he looked at me and said, good body shot. Start going down to the body. He started going down to the body and slowing him down, said Terrence Crawford about Keyshawn Davis. Listen to his advice during his fight against 36-year-old Dennis Baranchik. His punches were sharp. I said, everything is under control. It would be a tremendous fight, said Crawford when asked what's his thoughts on a fight between Keyshawn Davis and A.K. El Chin Checker, alias Gervonta Davis, A.K. Abdul Wahid. You have two talented fighters. Both of them are counterpunchers. Both of them are smart. Tank might have a little more power, but Keyshawn has power too. It will be a great fight, and I think Keyshawn will win. We're different in a lot of ways, said Crawford about him and Keyshawn. He has his style, and I have my style. We both have great styles, and Keyshawn is going to be around for a long time. I do believe, I do agree with Crawford on the styles, and Keyshawn going to be around for a long time. What I have difficulties understanding and digesting, just like a salt tablet with no chaser, is saying that he beats Gervonta Davis right now. You know what I'm saying? I do believe that Keyshawn will be around for a long time, and he's doing amazing. He's going through an amazing process in his career right now with his PR, with his freaking performance value. Just his overall confidence level is bubbling out of control. Now I know, people say that Keyshawn trash talks too much. I don't think he's over the top. I think he's, giving us just the amount that we need. Real talk. I think he's giving us the excitement. He's giving us the tone that we want to hear. You know what I'm saying? He's really giving the percentage of disrespect that we need when he's stepping there with the fighter, with his opponent. He is. He's giving us that controversy. Man, whatever you want to say about it, people want to talk about the bananas and the watermelon. Well, one thing, Keyshawn addressed the shit right there live on air. He made it seem like it was personal. He sold the shit. He sold it. Now, later on, he went back and apologized. Cool. But he sold it. He sold it to the people that he was going to beat his ass. That it became a little bit more personal. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the whole lead up to the fight was what you need. So Keyshawn right now is on the roll from Norfolk to MSG. He's on the roll right now. He's doing what he's supposed to do. Each and every time you can expect Keyshawn to address you. personally. You can expect that. That's who he is right now. People know it. You can expect him to give you the temperature of disrespect that you're looking for. He's gonna push all the motherfucking buttons that you think that is yours and yours alone, and you're composed, and nobody can have access to that. Keyshawn, one of the persons, if he find out what those buttons are, he's definitely gonna push it. But I commend him on what he has going on as far as his momentum. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everyone in the chat, man. I see you. What's good? What's good? Salute to y'all. BOK Prime had a terrible production. Built a good Mason event. BOK had a terrible production, but a good main event. Okay. They made me not want to buy it. No, you was telling us to go buy the fight. Huh? What are we talking about? In your closing argument, in your closing points, you said, give your final thoughts. Hey, I just want to tell all the black people on the panel, I just want to say support, man. BOK Prime, Black Prime, man. Come on, don't get no more clear than that. Go buy the fight. Go buy the fight. I said, okay, let me put a little bit more effort. It's Black History Month. Half of the month already goddamn gone anyway. Let me do it. And then when the time said it was going to be on, all I was looking at is people's feet. It looked like they was making Under the Stairs freaking scary movie again or something. You saw people walking around, all these wires everywhere. No telling what they had in the back. Probably a moonshine steel, generators, all that shit. Hey, they had shit hooked up to lawnmowers in that motherfucker for goddamn. I don't know what the fuck was going on, where they was sourcing the electricity from. We kept on having interference. Well, y'all was using an old Cat 5? Were y'all using fish twine? Anyway, I got to get back. Man. I got to get back. This right here is going to tell us a story, the lightweight division. Now that Keyshawn is a part of the lightweight division, how will it all play out? These are the world champions, and this is a solid roster of fighters in comparison to future fights. We have some hitters right here. We have some hitters, y'all. This thumbnail right here, it's a grand thumbnail, bro. Look at the hitters from Lomachenko, the Keyshawn, Shakur, and Javante. Man, there's some hitters. You have 3 Olympians, dog. You have 3 Olympians who are reigning seeded champions in the lightweight division. But yet, the topic of discussion is who will Tank fight next? That's the topic of discussion. Who will Tank fight next? Not when will Keyshawn and Shakur fight? Because we really need for them to fight too. But what I said yesterday, when it comes to Keyshawn Davis, who I believe his torch is lit right now, Youngin is on a roll. I believe that there's some hardware for him at 140 at this point. I think this is a perfect time for Keyshawn to move up to 140 and try to fight the likes of a Hitchens, Teofimo, a Jose Valenzuela. Any one of them just to pick up another division right quick like. I believe he can do it. I hope he doesn't take too much time at 135. The reason why I'm telling you this, Keyshawn, is the fact that you said belts don't matter. So if you're not trying to collect the belts, don't sit up there and campaign at 135 forever. If you ain't trying to go over, if the only person you're trying to beat, which haven't been the type of fighter who goes for a lot of belts, he's been criticized for being a WBA regular champion. If your only mission and intent is to fight Tank, I'm gonna call your bluff because I truly don't believe that belts don't mean anything. You ain't trying to go for undisputed. Anybody will tell you if Keyshawn defeated Gervonta Davis, who is considered the top dog at 135, and Shakur Stevenson never fought him, why would he even fight him? Why would Keyshawn turn around and fight? Okay, let's just say you fight Lomachenko. After that, you're the unified champion. The fans are going to call for you to become undisputed. The fans. WCS is going to be back where I was before and re-emphasize to the general public that it makes all boxing sense in the world for you and Shakur to fight. Now, granted, there are some things that people fail to realize when you're talking about the heavy hitter, the big dog at 135, and A.K. El Chin Checker. Gervonta Davis is not easy work for none of these guys. It's certain things that Keyshawn may believe he knows that he can use against Tank. It's certain things that Shakur may believe he knows that he can use against Tank. But when you actually get into the classroom and the curriculum and the textbook is open and you start to get taught certain chapters of the sweet science that you never knew existed, then you're going to have to understand that, damn, what am I going to do in this situation? And that's what's going to happen when either three of these guys fight and step in there with Tank. I think, switching back over to Keyshawn, if belts is not a problem, Keyshawn, you have to hear me on this. If belt's not a problem for you, you're basically mirroring the same Gervonta Tank Davis attitude. You're saying belts don't matter. I don't need to be undisputed. That's Tank's attitude. That's been his whole mentality, to make the money and fight whoever he want to fight. So if you ain't saying the belts matter, that means you're not going to fight the champions. Peep game, y'all. You have to if the torch is lit for you, Keyshawn, and you saying undisputed don't fucking matter, that means you want to step in there with the right name, not necessarily a champion, and fight for the check. Just what WCS been saying about your business model, you know what I'm saying, how you going about that. You're going in there to make the most money in boxing as quick as you possibly can. Just the fact that you're telling people that belts don't matter, undisputed don't matter, you're following the same freaking format as Tank. Tank has been sticking to one belt. When they had the Four Kings over there previously, Tank was still a WBA regular title holder. And all that switcheroo from Lomachenko to Teofimo to Cambozo to Devin Haney, Tank Davis was still at 135. Tank Davis was still at 135, man. Through all that rotation, Tank Davis was still at 135, man. And they trying to say, oh, they was calling him out. That didn't stop him from making money. That didn't stop him from being on the pound-for-pound list. That did not stop Tank from being on the pound-for-pound list. So I hear you talking. I'm listening. Archiving. Keyshawn has made it perfectly clear. A lot of people hyping him up. Hey, go fight Tank, go fight Tank. And then you got Shakur. Go fight Tank, go fight Tank. There's considerations and concerns I have that we're going to have to, talk about after this weekend. I think Shakur Stevenson is going to have a tough time with Floyd Schofield. That's just me. At the end of the day, this game is a mental game. And Floyd Schofield, in my opinion, I said it before, he can be a little psycho lunatic sometime when he's trying to go in there and just fight. One thing we can say about Floyd, he can fight. But when Shakur wants to box, is he going to be patient enough to box with him? And then mix in, put himself in fight mode. Can he box? if he's trying to fight and Shakur is boxing and he's landing that jab, he's landing that counter uppercut, he's landing those shots that's frustrating, what is Schofield going to be able to do? Hey, we're going to have to figure it out. We're going to have to see it go down in Riyadh this weekend. But make no mistake about it, some people are getting it kind of twisted because Tank want to freaking retire. He mentioned retire, and that's going to be, you know, his downfall, because it's the opportune time for one of these guys, whether it's Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis, or Lomachenko. Let's exclude Lomachenko because, let's be honest with ourselves, he's a much older fighter, and but people still give him credit. You know what I'm saying? He can lose no matter how many times he loses. People still give him credit. I think Tank's put him to sleep worse than freaking he did Leo Santa Cruz at 130. I think he puts Lomachenko to sleep, bro. You know somebody else in that division I think he puts to sleep? I think he puts to sleep Shakur Stevenson. I saw Shakur's interview with Ring, with Dougie Fisher. Shout out to Dougie Fisher and Ring. Shakur, you have to understand that when you say, okay, you demand respect, you this, but once somebody, listen, it's going to be some people that you work around that you don't like, but you may have to work with them. That's just the way it is when you start to grow up. Trying to prove to everybody how tough you are. You don't have to do that because you're a boxer. We understand how tough you are, bro. That's the curve you need to turn with trying to prove that, you know, the people in disrespect and why you told the fans what they told them. Hey, if y'all have your own reason for telling the boxing fans why you don't like us and all that, cool. But we don't care about the toughness and all that. We don't care anything about that unless it's inside the ropes. Trying to convince people that you're the biggest, meanest dude in the room is not always going to be the case. You're not the hardest, toughest dude in your own division. Keyshawn right now, your best buddy, your builder buddy to the end, your Olympian friend. People believe he's too big for you right now. And if you and him fought there, Shakur, it'll be problems. But we got some of the community out here that's up here trying to goddamn bring you all cradles and new bottle warmers, making new merch, friends to the end, and got y'all 2 pictures up there with y'all medals and shit hanging down. Oh, nothing like being friends to the end. Shakur, Keyshawn, friends to the end. Come on. We're speaking positivity in February. 2 black friends to the end. Well, when it comes down to making money in the lightweight division, y'all going to have to figure it out. Or else, people keep talking about Keyshawn's size. I don't know how long Keyshawn's going to be at 35. I have heard what you said. It disappointed me that you said what you said about belts didn't matter. If that's the case, you're trying to get big names for big paychecks, and belts don't matter for you to become unified or undisputed. So what you're basically saying, you're just going to go from division to division and pick up a belt or 2 and just make some of the big fights for the money. That's all he's trying to do. But I thought the big fight's supposed to be the champions. You know what I'm saying? So y'all better be very careful how y'all walking on this glass. Because y'all criticizing Tank for fighting nobody. But Keyshawn is about to venture and do the exact same framework and format as Gervonta Davis. All you got to do is listen. Just pay attention to language. Whatever state of mind you got to be in to listen to this shit, whether it's inebriated, fucked up, buzzed, head right, or you just sober as shit. Listen to what he's saying. He's telling y'all his shit is no different than Tank. He goes, Tank don't. They say, Tank don't want to fight nobody. Tank want to just fight this opposition and get paid for that. Just think about how I said about Tank's dynamic. If he can fight those names that y'all disagree with and make big money doing it, then he has something. He's on to something. Now I know Turkey Al Sheikh is trying to come in and so-called link up a fight between him and Devin or whatever the case may be. Y'all can think what you want to think on that fight. Y'all can say that Devin's gonna come in. I put Devin in the same category as Keyshawn, Shakur Stevenson, and Lomachenko. All four of them is gonna find out how different the hunt is when it comes from El Chin Checker. Y'all gonna find out the hunt is different. But pay a close attention to what WCS is telling you. Keyshawn is about to venture the same framework as Gervonta, because if you're not willing to fight the champions in your division, right, that means you're fighting down. You're fighting fighters that's not 50-50 competitive. If you're not trying to go for other belts, you're saying, I just want to fight those below me. Am I tripping? I'm not tripping, yo. I'm not tripping. If you're not fighting the other champions in your division, you're fighting down, right? Because somebody that's coming up to fight you not supposed to be a 50-50 fight if you're the champion, per the eye test, per the paperwork, per the assuming measures that we're going by. They don't supposed to be a 50-50 fighter. They're just supposed to be a challenger. But Keyshawn is giving me the vibes, listening to him, that he wants the big fights. But he's not talking about fighting the champions for belts, because the belts don't matter to him. So he just wants the big paychecks with those individuals that's in his ranking system below him. Isn't that what y'all accusing Tank of doing? I mean, am I tripping? Aren't y'all accusing Tank of doing the same thing? Now, I can't say that about Lomachenko. Definitely can't say that about Lomachenko. And I can't say that about Shakur Stevenson. But I can say that about Keyshawn, though. I can. Absolutely. I'm hyped up that he's on the road right now. But he's telling you, in the process of them trying to dog Tank out, he's telling you he's willing to go through and do the same shit Tank doing because he likes it. He's like, man, getting all those belts don't mean shit. I ain't trying to be no undisputed. That don't mean shit to me at the end of the day. It's all about making much money. Okay, so if you're not gonna fight a champion and say, you know what, we don't have to fight for your belt. That's not gonna happen. So if he ain't willing to go for undisputed 135, which would make him a lot of money, will make him a pretty good amount of money, right? He's just gonna be fighting dudes in his sanctioning body in the WBO that's coming up to fight him. Y'all gonna be complaining about he's not fighting the best champions, the other three that's in his division. Well, other two when it comes to Keyshawn, because, you know, we got his bosom buddy, his builder buddy Shakur. They're not fighting anytime soon. So people are now clamoring for March 1st to come around for him to go in there and fight Roach, because that fight is next week. And shout out to Lamont Roach, good dude, man. I don't know why they disrespect you so easily. But now you have people waiting for Tank to go in there and fight Roach. Once again, see how he looks. And then they want to know, when he cracks his lips and his tongue get active, what words will Tank say in calling out his next opponent? They believe it's going to be Keyshawn. I don't know why. I don't know why. Look. Do y'all remember when Spence jumped in the ring when Sean Porter had just beat Danny Garcia for the WBC, the vacant WBC title? Y'all remember that? Do you remember when Arrow was hey, Sean, he was a little bit intoxicated, right? Sean Porter said, yeah, you know, I'll fight you next. Did he fight Errol Spence next? He didn't. Okay? He didn't fight the man next. So why y'all looking for Gervonta Davis to lock him into a verbal when y'all didn't lock Errol Spence in this shit when Sean Porter in the shit when he said he'll fight Errol Spence next. There's protocol in this. Paperwork has to be done. You know what I'm saying? I know Turkey Al Sheik is getting shit done. You know what I'm saying? He's making it happen. I get it. But they're busy trying to wait and assume that Tank is going to call out Keyshawn. It's going to happen at the end of the year. Let's see. Let's see. That's all I got to say. Let's see, bro. Shit is not sweet, man. Shit is not sweet, man. You know, a lot of these boxing fans, they're going to go through a transitional period right now that's going to really test, you know what I'm saying, their mental psyche at the end of the day. Because a lot of fights that they was hoping and wishing, the downfall of one half of that tandem, it's not going to work out. It's not going to work out when Crawford faced Canelo. You know, for all the Crawford haters, it's not going to work out when Keyshawn step in there with Tank. I like Keyshawn. I do. He got mad freaking future in the sport. But when it comes to Tank Davis, I just don't see you being right there where you need to be. I'm not saying it's going to be a knockout or whatever. I just see Tank sparred, and the way I see him in fights, his hunting style is different. He's very smart in that ring. And being that Keyshawn isn't this over-the-top active striker. Like Bud said, they both counterpunchers. You know what I'm saying? You saw what Isaac Cruz, his success was. Isaac Cruz's success was keeping constant pressure on Tank. Constant pressure. He was willing to take that risk. He had the cojones to do it. I can tell you straight up, Keyshawn is not going to be right there in the front door of Tank Davis, knowing what type of power he got. He ain't walking him down with a high guard. That ain't his style. That ain't his style, bro. If he does that, he don't make it past 5 rounds. But he will try his best to box Tank. He will try his best to land counter punches that's effective. I get it. But Tank is different, man. That power separates them. And once again, I repeat, stop criticizing what you believe Tank hasn't done. And Keyshawn is telling you that's exactly what he's about to do. He's letting you know, point blank, I ain't worried about the freaking titles. I'm going to fight who I want to fight for the money. I'm not going for the champions. If you're not going for the champions, then what are you going for? If you're not going for the champions of your division, are you going for champions in another division? Or are you just going to stay fighting dudes' names in your freaking sanctioning body? That's what they get mad at Tank for doing, right? So just buckle up for the ride, okay? Buckle up for the ride, man, because lightweight division is hot. And, you know, you're not going to sit up here and think that a nigga like me ain't paying attention. You know, Keyshawn is happy he won the belt, but he's all about making the money. That's what his business key. You know, he's all about making the money, y'all. Truth be told. I don't think you all been paying attention. You may have been woed to sleep by the BLK Prime, but Oscar De La Hoya is back on deck. He said, Oscar De La Hoya was on, is quoted as saying, it said, Golden Boy promoter Oscar De La Hoya got a little subtle dig in on Keyshawn Davis on Saturday night by saying that his fighter, Oscar Duarte, was able to knock out Miguel Madueno, while Keyshawn couldn't. It's not that the top-ranked promoted physically could not knock out Madueno. De La Hoya didn't come right out and say it, but what he's hinting at is Duarte is a better fighter than Keyshawn. He stopped short of saying it. But that's obviously what he meant when he pointed out that Duarte did better than Keyshawn. He is right. Duarte performed much better against the Meduinos than Davis. That's what Oscar said. The 2020 Olympic silver medalist Keyshawn looked like he came unglued early on against Meduino after taking some big shots against the heavy-handed Mexican warrior. The same punches that Duarte courageously took had Keyshawn stressed out to the point where he turned it into a wrestling match with holds. He was no longer fighting. It was pure WWE moves. What the fight showed is that Davis doesn't handle pressure well. And this is why I read these articles. Sometimes they're extremely biased, and sometimes they give you the FACTS. They said Davis doesn't handle pressure well. Duarte is completely okay with it, but that reflects his upbringing in Mexico, where all fighters learn to brawl early on. The power was there for that fight, but the courage wasn't. They say the power was there for that fight, but the courage wasn't. After getting a taste of the Mexican fighter's power, Keyshawn looked scared of getting hit. So instead of trying for a knockout, he turned the fight into a WWE-type match filled with wrestling tactics. The referee allowed Keyshawn to use tactics without disqualifying him. Last Friday, Keyshawn was still using the same tactics. Davis captured the WBO lightweight title last Friday night, steamrolling the champion Denise Berinchyk in 4 rounds at MSG. Last year, on July 6th, Keyshawn went the 10-round distance, besting Meduino by unanimous decision. Keyshawn looked like he was afraid to fight aggressively against Meduino, like he done against Berinchyk, because he could punch. And he was getting hit hard in early rounds when he brawled. Davis appeared to give up on the idea after the 3rd round when he ate some big punches from Meduino. Keyshawn Davis couldn't knock out Meduino. That tells you a lot about Oscar Duarte, about Keyshawn Davis, because he won the world title last night, said Oscar De La Hoya to The Zone, following Oscar Duarte's 7th round knockout win over Miguel Duino last Saturday. So what do y'all think about that? Do Oscar have a point? I know he was talking, some clear, concise facts about Keyshawn getting caught, start the hole, and make it dirty. Keyshawn was in La La Land for a minute. And what I want to point out is that if you believe that Meduino was giving Keyshawn a little bit of difficulty, well, imagine what Tank is going to do. I'm just saying. Imagine what Tank is going to do. It's only so much holding you're going to be able to do with Tank. And I think another mistake that's going to be made if the fight ever happened is, I know Keyshawn is going to believe he's much stronger than Tank in the clinch and all that. Cool. I mean, if you want to have a wrestling match with him, it's up to you and it's up to Tank to figure out the positioning of it in the clinch. That's all. Tie up, whatever. It's up to them to figure it out. But you also have to deal with the unannounced, sneaky, the prowler, that stalker, that left and right stalker, that predator called the left and right hand of El Chin Checker. You have to be worried about that. You have to worry about when you're holding someone like Tank, if he don't blast you with an uppercut up the middle. I mean, it's okay to put on all the muscle and have that size on you. But when it comes down to doing what you tried against Meduino, the Tank, it's not going to work out too happily, for real. So let me address Jannard. What's going on, Jannard? Okay. To answer your question, no, I did not attend. And also, when it comes to taking photos in the event like that, I'm glad I didn't go and take photos because the ring lighting was bad. when you're ringside and you're shooting up, it's a lot of adjustments. First of all, you have to adjust with your equipment to get those freaking nice shots. And then also you have to look at the activity rate between Norman and Hackett. It was only so many, moments, so many windows that they had where shots actually land that would look good on photo. It wasn't really clean shots consistently for 6 rounds. I mean, it was a lot of holding, so no one wants to see pictures of holding and stuff like that. But the lighting in there was it was subpar. It wasn't the best, to answer your question. So no, I didn't go, and I'm glad I didn't if I was going to take pictures, because it wouldn't have turned out that great. Thing I can say about Wilder, he's not a quitter. He's not a quitter, bro. When you talk about Jared Anderson taking pictures with Shakur and Keyshawn, I didn't understand what the correlation of him taking pictures was. Because they was all up and coming, not Shakur, so to speak, but they was training together at one time, and they was up and coming friends. So when he was taking pictures, they're all young in their 20s. You know what I'm saying? I pretty much was basically putting them together because they're coming up in their 20s in the sport of professional boxing, and they have a history. You know what I'm saying? They know each other, and they've been helping each other out. You see Jared Anderson over there helping out Shakur all the time. You know what I'm saying? And what I truly meant was in happier times, all of them was smiling. But see, their careers is taking different turns right now. Shakur is experiencing some of the worst weather that he ever experienced in boxing, with all the hate and people calling him boring. Jared Anderson took his first loss via knockout stoppage. Keyshawn, he went through the situation with the marijuana in Texas, and he's turned the corner with his performance value. He's really building up his fan base. You know what I'm saying? And that picture right there tells a lot about how fighters come up in the sport and different avenues they take. Not so much the avenues that they're driving themselves. It's just how the boxing fans can dictate the speed you're going sometime and the direction you're going when it comes to popularity, when it comes to what you think about the sport of boxing. So it's that picture, when Jared was smiling, he had a big smile on his face, all three of them. Yeah, they got history together. You know what I'm saying? But right now, they're getting into the wickets of their careers. That's all I'm saying. They're coming up. Keyshawn and Jared Anderson considered prospects on the rise. Shakur Stevenson, he's a 3-weight champion. Yeah, you get the picture, man. Just a guy, when you talked about Jared Anderson, okay, I read that. Good question, though. Good question. Good question. I think he's only fighting because he's on the contract, just my opinion. Well, we're going to see up and coming because, yeah, he gave us, I'm just on the contract type of mentality, didn't he? Shout out to Mr. International, Toby Bartlett in the building. What's good with it, Toby? Salute WCS in the hottest chat in the YTC. We're global, baby. We're global. Absolutely. Better than just be local. To be global, man. Hope everything is good your way across the pond, man. NYT on deck. Is Tank really the top puppy at 135 when he wasn't trying to fight the top fighters at 135 when everyone was in the prime or before they moved up? He's the top guy, bro. Look, I understand that boxing fans are going to ask, is he? But every time somebody fight Tank, they make a big deal about. So when Roach-No came up, oh, man. But they didn't know, how was he going to lock in with Shakur? And Shakur had pending hand issues. And he pulled out of the fight just like Team Tank knew. Why were they going to lock in a fight with him? And word was that he wasn't even sparring hard over there in Texas. Even though he had a fight locked in with Cordina, who was coming up from a lower division. Okay. What happened? The fight drops out. He comes back and fight Artem. Nobody give Team Davis credit for that shit. They don't give him credit for that. You know what I'm saying? But answer your question there, Gumbo. He's not the puppy, the top puppy. You know what I'm saying? He's that Kodiak, that goddamn silverback at 135. It's up to the others to prove that he isn't. I mean, last time I checked, he was on the pound for pound list, right? Good morning, Arnold Brown on deck. What's good? Folks say Roach is scattering fear under bright lights. I can't say that about Roach. I know where you're going with it. I can't say that about him. He's a good guy, bro. I got respect for Roach. Real talk. I got respect for Lamont Roach, man. I actually met the guy in person. Good dude, man. Good stand-up dude. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're not the only one that has mentioned something about his last name. I get it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Having the last name white, people make their comments. Oh, you're black, you're white. I mean, come on, bro. You can't punch everybody in the lips. You know what I'm saying? And give them a reminder like, bro, find something to do. Go find something better than do. You know? Hopefully, Bud and Bomac explain to Keyshawn belts do matter. Undisputed champion in the record books forever. And those are the ones we keep talking about long after their careers are over. I get it, Toby. I'm aligned with you on that. But I'm trying to tell people what he's trying to condition them to think of him. He's trying to say belts don't matter. He's just gonna fight who he want to fight. That means he ain't going for undisputed. And also, he's trying to downplay the fact that the reporters are definitely going to ask him if he unifies 135, pick up another title. Yeah, they're going to keep on asking him about Shakur. Both of them are sitting up here trying to play DC damage control. You have Shakur's, oh man, you know the reason why when I was young I was going through this and all that. And I stumped my little toe next to my pinky toe, and the toenail, it tore off a little bit deeper than I thought. Man, come on, bro. Everybody go through problems. I get it. But the reporters, man, they don't care. They're going to say, all I want you to do is ask them about Shakur. All I want you to do is ask them about Keyshawn. That's it. That's it. Shakur's been unified before. When Keyshawn get unified, what y'all gonna do? Keep chasing Tank? They better hope Tank comes out and says, "And okay, I'll fight Keyshawn next." Okay, then we can get the fight, and y'all can get your answers. You can get the answers to your questions. You can do that. But him saying he don't want belts don't matter is all. It's just a basically, a preliminary warning. Don't be discouraged when I start fighting who y'all don't want me to fight. And then, you know, he going to turn around and say, why y'all worried about who I'm fighting? Y'all wasn't saying that about Tank, right? And Tank was making all that money. It seems like they willing to follow the Tank Davis format. Tank is making money fighting who the heck he want to fight. Just like Canelo. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's fighters out there that's not doing it. Tank may have took the same motto Canelo took. Floyd say, hey, man, fight who you want to fight. You still going to get paid because you Tank. You El Chin Checker. Forget what they talking about. You El Chin Checker, bro. Now WCS said Shakur ain't black. Why I say Shakur ain't black? I mean, he is biracial with Puerto Rican and black. When did I say he ain't black? I never said he wasn't black. I got love for friendships, just not right now in one of the hottest divisions. You know what I'm saying? Just not for one of the hottest divisions right now. 135 is one of the hottest divisions, man. Come on. That's one of the hottest divisions out. We don't have time for 2/4 of the champions to say Shakur's not fighting Keyshawn and Keyshawn not fighting Shakur. So they just gonna fight around each other, following the Tank Davis format. Once again, following the Tank Davis format, yo. You're telling us point blank period that you're gonna fight who you want to fight, and it's not gonna be champions all the time. I totally get it, bro. Remember I told you on February 16th, once again, the same people up here complaining that Tank ain't fought nobody and he only had this person on his resume. Well, guess what? If they're telling you belts don't matter and they ain't all about being undisputed, well, they're going to fight everybody that's ranked below them. Ain't that's how it works? Unless they move up to a different division and fight. Yeah. Shout out to Yafi, man. Yafi. Hey, shout out to him. He made a good point. He said Keyshawn also just mentioned that he no longer wants to fight T.O. I understand why that is. But T.O. is a big name regardless of his stupidity and ignorance, his racial insensitivity. He is. But if people are saying protest, these same people that are saying protest to fight, they're not going to be paying your freaking monthly salaries once you get out from boxing. They're not going to be coming over there. I just wanted to check on you. How the bills looking? I see you got a new car over there, 2 new cars. Are they paid off? Oh, between them, you owe $90,000. Okay, I'm glad. Hey. Terry, come here. Yeah, bring the checkbook. Hold up, get the calculator out. 90,000. We're gonna take care of that 90,000. They own both. What else? What else? This your home? You own it? Huh? You caught up on everything? You owe anything remain on the mortgage? You owe 2.6. Put 2.6 million over there. Yeah. What else? You good? I just want to make sure you're okay. I mean, you boxers, you say nobody look out. I just want to come up here and make sure you A-okay. Anything else you need? Going on any trips lately? Need any type of freaking funding? You know. Oh no, this money you don't have to pay back. I'm just donating it. I'm giving it to you. What about the trips? How many trips you plan on making the rest of the year? 6 trips. Okay. Oh, so you are going to Venus and Mars. All right. Hey, let's round it up to about 800 million. Yeah, put that there because they're going to need that. Put some life insurance in that too. That's not going to happen, yo. I'm being honest. That's not going to happen. You make the most money possible in the sport. Shout out to Conquest in the building. Yeah, sort of, kind of. The puppetizing is there. If you're saying you're not going to fight T.O. because of what he said, then you're going to be doing the same thing you say Tank doing. If you're not going to be fighting the champions at 140, you're going to be doing the same shit you criticize Tank for doing. People believe that Tank should be fighting the other champions in the division. But yet we got Keyshawn and whoever else that want to support him saying, I don't care about belts. I don't care about belts. So what you're saying is if you don't care about belts, why are you trying to fight Tank then? I'm just going to nip it in the bud right there, man. Cut it off at the head, goddammit. Decapitation. If you don't care about belts, why fight Tank? Listen, people. If Tank ain't the head big dog, they're golden. I mean gumbo. If Tank ain't the big dog at 135, why should Chris Stevenson want to fight him then? If he ain't a big dog. Why does Keyshawn want to fight him? Why he saying knock for? It ain't no knock. All you got to do is just, hey, I like to first thank God, thank my team. All of you that came out, showed support. I definitely appreciate and thank you very much. Continue to support me and everything. What's next for you, Keyshawn? I don't know. Look, to be honest with you, like I told you, belts don't mean shit to me. So last time you said knock to Gervonta, is that still on? I think I'm going to fight him when he loses title because titles don't mean shit to me. So I'm gonna fight Tank when he loses his title, because then I can stick within the honor and integrity and abide by the code that I walk by each and every day that I wake up in the morning. Yeah, I don't want to fight him as a champion. I want to fight him when he loses his belt. Okay? I mean, how good does that sound, y'all? He don't want to fight Tank with the belt because he say belts don't matter. So why are you trying to fight Tank? Why are these dudes trying to fight him if he ain't the top dog? Why every time somebody's conversation come up, I wish you'd hurry up and get rid of Roach. Why did he fight Roach? People just in turmoil. Oh, man, Roach, man, ain't nobody know about Roach. This is absolute, oh, my God, despicable fight. So if y'all worried about who Tank fighting, that means he's the top dog. That's why I moved away from boxing and poured my time into other things. Roach is another 130-pound moving up. Man, y'all don't want to give the brother no credit for being a boxer. All I'm hearing is violin strings pop, and the sound isn't pleasant. Y'all keep on trying to play the same song. Roach, 130, 130, Roach, 130, Roach, 130, 130, Roach, 130. How many times y'all gonna say that? The fight is next week. Okay? Do y'all understand that the fight is next week, Shawty? Huh? Did y'all hear what I said? The fight is next week. He gets to fight the guy that y'all say that is a 130-pounder. But check this out. 130-pounder, right? And he has a championship belt that used to be the very same fighter of Hector Luis Garcia, who Tank absolutely fought, who a lot of you all was saying that had the power and the technique to give Tank problems. Yeah, y'all. Yeah. That was you. That was you. Seriously, that was you. Real talk. That was y'all. Y'all was saying it. Oh, man, that Hector Luis Garcia, man. Oh, man, you saw what he did to Chris Colbert. Oh, my God. Tank is in trouble. But y'all over here complaining about Roach, who got the belt that Hector Luis Garcia had when he stank. I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear the MF thing you got to say anymore. Let me check something out right quick. Okay? Let me check something out right quick, man. Okay. Anyway. Sources say Spence fighting at 189, training at Eddie. I don't know who that is. I guess you're saying Reynoso. God damn, you shredded the shit out of his last name. Conquest. He should sue you for goddamn ineffective plagiarism. God damn. Shit, man. You eviscerated his name. Organs hanging out and everything. Nigga can't breathe and shit. Stomach hurt than a motherfucker. Oscar with his triangle theories. Hey, that's what they use. That's what they use, triangle theories. That's what Gumbo's talking about, bringing somebody up from 130 pounds. Isn't that triangle theories gone wrong? BG, ain't that triangle theories that we use all the time? Why are they mad about Tank fighting somebody at 130? Because why? Because he's fought a fighter for 130 before. The very same fighter, Lamont Roach, has his title. The very same fighter, Lamont Roach, has Hector Luis Garcia's title. So when he move up and fight Tank, he's still going to be champion at 130. And they upset. They seriously upset, bro. Seriously upset. I mean, the fact that Meduino is being, you know what I'm saying, put into the Bermuda Triangle theory that Keyshawn couldn't get him up out of there, but yet Oscar Duarte can. Well, we can say this. We know damn well that Tank cannot be thrown in this. How y'all love muddying Tank's name. He can't be thrown in this shit because Ryan Garcia fought Oscar Duarte at a catchweight, didn't he? And he ended up getting Oscar Duarte up out of there, right? But lo and behold, Tank, we all know what happened to Ryan Garcia, who fought Oscar Duarte. I mean, the theories, it's too many points. It turns into a hypotenuse. It's too many points, goddammit. Slap a motherfucker with cactus gloves on. I mean, that's the way the boxing works, right? I mean, Ryan Garcia fought Oscar Duarte, stopped him, but Tank stopped Ryan Garcia. You know what I'm saying? But yet Ryan Garcia went in there and did what he did with Devin Haney, you know, and knocked him down. So, I mean, who's really the man here? Isaac Cruz, after he goes in there and goes the distance, they say a star was born. Who did he fight? I don't see anybody saying a star was born after they fight Shakur Stevenson, after they fight Keyshawn Davis, after they fight Lomachenko. No, you go the distance with Tank Davis. They say, you think a star was born? Yes, a star was born. Oh, bring down the confetti. Drop the confetti. Sound the horns. Oh, man, bring out the elephants. Yeah. The ostriches, too. Yeah. Leave them hippos back there. The motherfucker's dangerous. Yeah. Hey, send the birds up. Throw the pigeons. Get Tyson. Tell Tyson release the pigeons. Yeah. Come on. Ain't nobody saying a star was born with all these other fighters that you see next to Tank up here. I'm just being honest. I hear a little sneak dissing in the chat. I'm just being honest, bro. Y'all kind of sneak dissing. Oscar be talking then hide his fighter through injuries. Huh? Oscar Duarte. I mean, you know, maybe there's a little bit of discontent between Barbosa and you know, that whole situation against Catterall. Yeah. But see, Oscar De La Hoya know what it's like to take losses. I mean, everybody talk losses, bro. Take losses for real. I appreciate it, man. I wasn't even really trying to give, you know, some wild commentary. It was just, I'm glad the South won last night, because I'd be damned if Ennis and Brian Norman Jr. ever fight again. Just like BG just said, they're going to be trying to use triangle theory, goddammit. Well, you had Hackett and come down there, Hackett beat your daddy, and per common law, DNA strands and chromosome layers and all this shit, Hackett is in the gym with Ennis, and they freaking sparred before. So being that they have made contact with one another, it's a part of the DNA strand in Ennis that was in Hackett, and vice versa. So being that he beat Norman Jr. dad already, that entails let us know how the fight's gonna play out between Ennis and Norman. Man, come on, man, they're gonna try their best. If that shit would have won, they would have tried their best to say, no, Hackett already beat your father. No, they can't say that. No, no bragging rights. No bragging rights, bro. That'd be the first thing they go to. Hackett already beat his dad. Now Ennis about to go in there and beat his son. No. The South came out victorious. Let it go. No bragging rights, Philly. None. Tank fears elite competition. Look out the interview, seal the confirmation. What? Seal what confirmation? What confirmation? Seal what? Because a fighter is thinking smart? Because a fighter is using their intellect, business, who's making pay-per-view numbers? You're trying to tell me you're going to allow Turkey Al-Sheikh to educate you on the sport of boxing? Now all of a sudden a fighter, no, hold on. Now all of a sudden a person that is somewhat similar but yet seen in public to the stature of the Grand Poobah Al Heyman and has put on one fight in the US of A. You're trying to tell me all of a sudden what he says is gold? Just because Tank reiterated to a rapper, a hip-hop artist, When did he become a valid voice in boxing? He's going off producer notes. So just because Tank is up there interacting with the culture, I'm hearing people up here taking an interview from Yachty. You know that ain't gonna go well over with Scotty. Y'all trying to take an interview from Yachty and say, well, you know what he said. He's ducking. He's this. All because he said send the man, send him Ferraris to a guy who only threw one fight in the USA. Now all of a sudden y'all trying to act like this guy's the overseer, the Lord, your king, your God, your savior in the sport of boxing? Is that where you at with it? That's all Big Turk have to do. That's all he have to do, right? Is have Tank tell you that Turk said Devin was his guy. He doesn't supposed to make sure that he's walking into a territory where it can be all equal. It can be equal across the board on both sides. And he wants to be compensated handsomely for him going over there and fighting. How does that have confirmation? Somebody explain that to me, please. Break it down, define it, decipher, decode it, however you want to begrudgingly. Please, somebody do that. Somebody, please. Any one of you. Why does Tank get held accountable just for the smallest of things? If Tank doesn't have any attraction value to the sport of boxing, then I ask this question: why is he in such high demand? Any one of you in the chat, why is Tank Davis in high demand? Are y'all still there? Y'all still there? Are y'all in church? Y'all got reprimanded for being on the phone. Somebody didn't slap you with a hymn book, did he? Somebody tell me, why is Tank Davis in high demand? Matter of fact, let me put him in his own solo layout. Why is El Chin Checker in high demand if Roach is such a bad name for him to be fighting? It's not like Isaac Cruz didn't move up and fight the weakest champion. I didn't hear people complain about Isaac Cruz. Do y'all remember that? Do y'all remember Isaac Cruz? Isaac Cruz fought Giovanni Cabrera. And the scorecards was 113, 114, 115, 112, 114, 113. It was a split decision win by Isaac Cruz at 135, right? But were y'all dogging Rolando Romero out when Isaac Cruz came up there and fought him for the WBA title in his first fight at 140? Did y'all criticize Isaac Cruz like that? Because Romero took a fighter that was at 135, one of the smaller, super small fighters. And that small fighter went up there and fought the weakest champion in that division and stopped him in 8 rounds. Did Rolando Romero get criticized like y'all do Tank for a fighter coming up? Or maybe not, because Tank be knocking him out. Because he was coming off a poor performance. And he got rewarded a split decision win. He got rewarded in a title fight, his very next fight at a higher division. Tell me how that worked. No belt. Look, they was fighting. Isaac Cruz was fighting for the WBC light title, silver light, WBC silver light, and WBO Latino light vacant. Cruz was even deducted 1 point in round 8 for headbutting. But yet his next fight, just like Rolando Romero when he was stopped by Gervonta Davis, he gets a title fight at 140. Boy, the hypocrisy is amazing. Y'all are on some, boy. The hypocrisy is amazing. You know what I'm saying? Hey, do me a favor. Do me a favor and pay attention. That El Chin checker is on deck at 135, and I don't see anyone there dethroning him anytime soon. And please, look, listen. I'm going to say this. Take it easy on Shakur after this weekend. Take it easy on him, okay? He had enough going on. Y'all done showed that you all about martial arts and the butterfly knives and all that. Take it easy. Don't go chopping the man up, so early after Schofield steps in there with him. Take it easy. Raise him up in the way you believe he should be. Do unto him as you would want him to do unto you. Give that man mentorship. That's all I'm saying, bro. Hey, man, Abdullah's on the run, man. Abdullah is on the run. He's doing big things. I like Abdullah Mason. I mean, they was talking about Abdullah Mason potentially fighting Kamel Moten. Man, I know that fight ain't gonna happen. That's a fight, and no, that sounds good, but I don't see that happen. Because people trying to build the fighter up, and all this, and I don't think Kamel Moten is getting in there with Abdullah Mason, vice versa. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to all of them. But big shout out to the hottest chat in the MFA game, man. Shout out to the heavyweight WBC king, Deontay Wilder. You're missed in the sport because we really don't know when the next U.S. heavyweight champion is going to be on deck. When we look up BoxRec and we see them there, we don't know when that's going to be. We don't know. By that time, I mean, probably majority of the freaking population have driveless cars. You know what I'm saying? The birds would be bigger than usual. Yeah, we're looking at about the next 10 years. But y'all hold it down. Shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and gang. Continue to support and hit that button. And pay homage and due respect. That September will be here sooner or later.